Being best friends with an influencer ruined my life. She used to be the type of girl to cycle to your house at 4 a.m. when you started crying over the phone, to prepare a birthday text the day before your birthday, and send it at exactly midnight. So I always felt safe telling her everything. But then when she hit that first influencer milestone, getting to 10,000 followers, it was like a flip had switched. Everything became content. One time I was in the middle of bawling my eyes out and she started rearranging the bed to make it look like she was comforting me, took a photo, and ignored me for the whole night to reply to DMs. Another time she texted me demanding that I come over for an emergency, and when I opened the door, I found her with fizz in her mouth. She was convulsing and her eyes were rolling backwards. I started hyperventilating and dialed 911 into my phone, but that's when she stood up and smiled. Haha, gotcha! She yelled before grabbing her phone that was in the corner of the room that had recorded the entire thing. And I guess she noticed my annoyedness because that's when she said, "Sorry, I hope you don't mind, it's just views have been down lately," as if it was the most justified reason in the entire world. But instead of telling her off, I just nodded because I thought that one day my best friend would come back. From there, things only got worse. After 2 months had passed, she had pranked me with so much BS that I didn't even react anymore. And she was on her 6th boyfriend that year when my breaking point came. I was actually surprised when that one lasted over 3 weeks. So much so that I invited them both to my dorm because I wanted to meet him in case he was my bestie's future husband or something. I left them alone to make us some pot noodles, and I was just about to come back in when I heard her laughing really hard, harder than she ever did with me. So I put my ear to the door. It's like one part of me is happy for my best friend living her dream, but the other half misses how things used to be. As soon as I heard those words leave her boyfriend's mouth, my heart dropped because they weren't his. They were mine, and they were reading my diary. I was so stunned that when I walked in, I went into retail mode, aka making my tone overly enthusiastic, my smile abnormally large, and acting unsettlingly warm, mainly because I felt so upset that the last thing I wanted was to cry in front of some random boy, and those idiots bought my act, as if I hadn't noticed my diary had gone from my shelf to right on top of my pillow. And as soon as they left, I began to hatch a plan. I wrote out an email template for why a brand should sponsor my bestie, and forwarded it to every beauty and clothing business I could find. Almost all of them said yes, because in them, I included Lisa's, my ex-bestie's, proven track record of increasing brands' revenue by 200%. And I guess being in event planning really does come in handy, because in the next few weeks, I spent my entire savings account on organizing Lisa's influencer partnerships launch. There were about 20 big brands that you probably know the names of, as well as 60 smaller ones attending. So when the day finally came, I texted Lisa the venue, except I told her it was the location of a gym, and told her to wear sweats and an old t-shirt because we were doing a spin class together. So when the brands were expecting to see a put-together 23-year-old self-made woman, they were instead faced with a sweaty girl in the crustiest outfit of all time arrive an hour late. As soon as she walked in, I yelled, "The woman of the hour! Welcome, Lisa!" She looked around super confused, and that's when all the brands came up to her to try and network. "Lisa, don't be shy. All these brands want to hear about how you single-handedly increased the revenue of Gymshark and L'Oreal." The flicker of panic behind her eyes was better than any apology she could have given me. That's when I helped her out. "Lisa, get on stage. That way you don't have to keep re-explaining everything." She walked on awkwardly, grabbing the mic and readying herself for the Q&A. In just 10 minutes, the initial excitement in the room had completely left. I even saw one of the brand reps roll their eyes. Within an hour, they had all made some sort of excuse to leave and never come back. "What the F did you just do?" she yelled the second the door closed. "Oh, you know, the same thing you did to me when you read my diary." Her eyes widened and her hand went to cover her mouth. "Oh, yep, hope this taught you a little lesson about privacy," I said with a smile. As I drove home that night, I really thought I had taught her a lesson, that everything was right with the world, but it wasn't, because when I woke up the next morning, my phone almost fell off my nightside table with how hard it was vibrating. Lisa had told all her followers that I was obsessed with her, that I had tried to make a move on her when we were kids, and ever since she rejected me, I haven't stopped stalking her, following her everywhere. The rest of the full story is on my channel and linked below.